Hello there, everybody. Welcome to the stream. It's good to be back after so very long. I think it's about 10 months since I streamed last, which is weird. But a lot's happening by that time, mostly software related. So tonight's stream is experimental in theme because we are, well, myself and special guest, we're using new software called Restream, which is a free or paid option, and I'm not being sponsored by them, not yet anyway. So it's basically a very user-friendly stream system or interface, and I'm very happy with it so far. Speaking of special guest, very, very special guest. A lot of my subscribers will. Oh, hi Minty, how are you? A lot of my regulars will know this special guest. He's done a lot of homegrown cinema, as in he's made his own films. He's done his own music. So if you're not subscribed to his channels, I would rectify that straight away. So without further doubt, see, this is the love about live streams. You can make mistakes and nobody cares. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to the one, the only, and George A. Romero's #1 fan, Mr. John Rennie.
Gary, thank you. Hey, Mindy, you all right? But, yeah, that was a great introduction. Thank you, Gary.
I try.
No, I'm surprised my head can fit in the webcam.
Oh, well, you owe me. £1,000, please. No, it's good to see you, John. As I was saying, it's a very user-friendly interface.
Yeah, it looks cool from my end as well.
All
the chats and everything seems really nice and where it should be. It's really user-friendly from this end anyway.
Yeah. And it's like I can add 4 other people or 5 other people. So I can maybe have one here, one there, one there, whatever. And basically, there's no need for a webcam, not a webcam. Separate software because it's a browser window. So it's just I can add many people or whatever.
That's fantastic.
So, yeah. So Minty, how are you tonight? How's Germany treating you? And Berlin in particular? Minty will probably be typing in 5 minutes.
So what have you been up to then? Have you watched anything amazing that you want to tell us about?
Well, just some YouTube stuff, really, to be honest with you.
All right.
Pretty much just like Stam Fine reviews. He's an Australian YouTuber.
All right.
He does, kind of 70s and 80s stuff, and I was watching one of his, 2 of his videos on the Bionic Man.
The Bionic Man.
Bionic Man, sorry, and the Bionic Woman and the $6 Million Man.
So the Bionic Woman was Wagner, right?
Lindsay Wagner, yeah.
Lindsay Wagner, and the Bionic Man was the Fall Guy. All right, Lee Midges.
Yeah.
All right.
Place is falling a bit, so that's not good. Don't say that, like, this is not America.
All right, that's true.
But yeah, I've been watching his stuff, and I like his style because it's very. He's got a sense of humor which I like. and I can warm to.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It is. I mean, some of the stuff's really good as well. It's really informative, the information as well.
Yeah.
It's like it's proper researched. It's not just somebody like. It seems like he isn't reeling it off. It's all really research stuff as well. I really like that.
Definitely. What about yourself? What have you been watching?
Loads of stuff. I've been watching loads of disaster movies.
Oh Jesus!
Like loads and loads of disaster movies. I've just watched Arthur Conan Doyle's Return to the Lost World tonight.
Yeah.
I've just written a post about that on YouTube.
Okay.
I've been watching loads. I've got a whole pile of stuff to watch. I've got I just watched this one. That was great. When Time Ran Out.
All right. Okay. Haven't seen it.
Paul Newman, Jacqueline Bisset, William Holden.
Oh right. Okay.
Did you ever see The Last Shark?
No.
James Franciscus, the guy from do you know Beneath the Planet of the Apes?
Yes.
The blonde guy from that, the main guy. He's the proper evil businessman in this. Okay. It's great. And I got a one by the same director, which is actually Glenn recommended this one from Cynical Celluloid. Roller Coaster. I haven't even opened this one yet. I'm going to watch that tonight, I think. Cool. But it's the same director, Irwin Allen. So loads. My next review for the channel is going to be on The Assassin, which is a remake of Nikita.
Oh yes,
the Luc Besson movie. So this was a remake that was, I think it came out literally a year after the Luc Besson one.
Well, Nikita came out what 97, wasn't it?
I think it was early 90s. I think.
Right.
At least I think.
Maybe I'm thinking of the Femme Nikita.
The Femme Nikita, yep.
Yeah.
So there was a TV show.
Yeah.
And then there was another TV show.
When time runs out, could be used for one or two other topics. Yeah, well, that's true.
It's really good, man. I really enjoyed it. I'd never seen it before, and everybody was saying that it was one of Irwin Allen's weaker ones. Maybe. Yeah. And it was so I hadn't watched it I've never seen it. It took us a while to find it. I had to get like a Warner Brothers DVD from Amazon. I had to buy a shortened version because there was a longer TV version, but you can only get it. But you can only get it on VHS. I was looking all over. I ended up buying that one, Region 1 from America, and I really enjoyed it. I did. I thought it was really good.
I bought myself some Region 1s there before Christmas, because they haven't released them here in Europe, and don't think they ever will. To be honest with you, so I got the 1950s Superman.
Yes,
the TV series with George Reeves.
George Reeves. He was on an episode of what do you call it? Mysteries, the American TV show with Robert Stack.
Oh, Ripley's Believe It or Not. Is it?
Unsolved Mysteries.
Oh right, okay. Hello, Simon.
Hey, you all right, guys? Hi. But I remember watching Unsolved Mysteries about Reeves.
Yeah.
And death was like really strange. It was like
it was a heart attack.
He was alone. He had no clothes on in the house, and it was like. Somebody did he shoot? Somebody shot him or something?
Right, I thought it was a heart attack. Okay.
Was it a heart attack?
I thought it was.
I just remember it being really strange and Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah. But the release of the season 4 in Europe, but then season 5 and 6 they haven't. So I got them from Amazon.com, and I think to myself, okay, they're Region 1.
Everyone's gonna hate me, but I love Dean Cain. I love the New Adventures of Superman.
You're not alone.
I really like Dean Cain that much. I even started to buy his other movies. He did a rollerball ripoff called Future Sport.
Oh yes, right.
which I bought. Yeah, that's the one. Him and Terry Hatcher.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. New Adventures of Superman.
I love his Superman. Yeah, I don't.
Who was the?
I don't like him as a person, but I like his films and stuff.
Who was the boss? Who was the newspaper?
John. No, it wasn't John Glover.
Was it John Glover?
I
have a check. I can't remember who it was. It's been so long, but I just remember I loved it. Do you know what it is? I need to buy that. I haven't got it.
No. Jesus, who played him actually? I'm looking at the Wikipedia.
But he didn't Dean Cain quit acting because
he did, yeah.
And it was because did he have a wife that passed away or something, and he brought the children up or something, or? There was
Something, yeah.
some horrible reason why he quit, wasn't there? Some terrible reason, sorry, I should say, why he quit.
But he did. He
Terry
went
Hatcher was indeed sexy Minnie. That's one of the reasons why I liked it so much, I think. And to be fair, Dean Cain didn't look bad in that suit. That's the one.
John Shay's the actor.
That's the one. That's the one. I can see his face, but I can't remember his name. But I really enjoyed it. I think it's one of my favorite. It's definitely my favorite show. I was never at Smallville. I watched maybe like half watched it, and then I got lost about halfway through. I think because I thought it got a little bit boring. I remember liking Lex Luthor. Was it Rosenbaum? In Smallville, he was a pretty good Lex Luthor.
I think you see what happened with Smallville was first 5 seasons all good. Well, in my opinion, anyway. And then they started introducing Justice League characters.
Yep.
Like Arthur Curry / Aquaman, the Flash.
Yes, I remember the Flash. Right.
Bart Allen, Barry's grandson.
How many seasons did Smallville run for? About 10 seasons.
10.
Yeah,
10.
I thought it was about 10 seasons. I lost weight, I think, about season 6, if I remember rightly. And after that, I just kind of like kept one eye on it. I'd put it on in the background. I wasn't really paying attention anymore.
You see, like, I love when it comes to comic book, TV, and movies. I'm Marvel all the way.
Yep.
But I do like DC TV.
Yes.
And some DC movies. No.
So DC had watched the new Flash.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched it yet.
Not the best.
Not the best.
No, is it the movie or the TV series?
Yeah, the TV series. I know they've just done Daredevil, right, with Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah. That's on Disney Plus. Blah blah. So won't go there.
I'm really skinned at the minute. I've been cancelling loads of subscriptions.
Yeah.
I'm clambering for editing work and stuff at the minute, so I've had.
I'll talk to you later about where you can get around that.
All right.
If I mention it on the stream, it might get taken down.
Might get more
Warner Brothers or something.
Have to do a video on how to get around Disney.
Yeah, there is ways, believe me.
Speaking of Disney, I did watch The Lion King.
Oh no, Jesus!
This week I hadn't watched it for such a long time, but my mate's kid came around.
Anyone remember the Mean Arena in 2000 AD?
Yes, I do. I was a big 2000 AD fan. Yes.
I just remember Judge Dredd from 2000 AD. That's all.
My favorite was Slain. He was kind of Conan the Barbarian-esque.
All right, okay.
That was my favorite in 2000 AD. Oh, it is mini rollerballs.
Yes,
rollerballs, 10 out of 10. I actually have a New Year's Eve thing where I watch rollerball on New Year's Eve every year. It's one of my favorites. I just like to sit and watch it and see the new year roll around with rollerball. It's just something I love to do. It's a beautifully dark. It's a really good movie. Like
just so we're clear, are we talking about the James Caan version?
Well, I am. I'm talking about the normal.
Yeah, that's all right.
Rollerball. I know that.
Are you talking about the James Caan version?
I did. John McTiernan did the one with LL Cool J.
Yes. Yeah.
And Jean Reno was the bad guy.
Slain was Celtic, Conan. Cool. Yeah.
It was. Slain was absolutely beautiful. I loved that. And Rogue Trooper. I used to love the Rogue Trooper series. There was a character who was in a couple of editions. It was only 3 called Highlander as well, who killed people with his bagpipes. He was amazing.
All right. Jesus.
He was CIA, and the CIA kind of turned on him and killed his wife. And then he went after. There was only in 3 editions, but man, he was a brilliant character. Highlander.
Any relation to Conor McLeod?
No, it wasn't. It was a name only. He wasn't going around cutting people's heads off, but he used to make people's heads explode with his bagpipes.
All right. Okay. That sounds good.
It was brilliant. Pardon me. It must have been late 80s, I think, with Highlander. He got the cover, though. He was on the cover of one of them.
Oh, cool. All right. Didn't know that. Did you?
Yeah, rollerball. Yep. It was what's the story called, Mitty? It's like Death Sport 3000 or something, isn't it? The short story was called. It was. I remember reading it years ago. I got into it when I was a teenager. Rollerball.
Cool.
Yeah, Rogue Trooper's brilliant, man. It's There's actually a guy where I live in London in Walthamstow who did work on some of the comics. And I met his son. His son runs a pub here, and he introduced us to one of the guys who did some of the work on it. He's a really cool artist. It was a real pleasure to meet him. Somebody who worked on the comics. Yeah, man. It was out. It was a big deal. It was like when I was a teenager, 2008. I mean, it still is. I've still got loads of the annuals and stuff that I read every year. Some of my favorite annuals. There's some great ones, especially Slane. Like I say, he was my favorite. I was a really big fan of him.
I think my cousin Alvin would have been like yourselves. Like he would, for me, like as a Marvel and less so DC, but he had comics like up to here, like.
That was I was pretty much just 2000 AD. That was my favorite comic. I mean, there was a couple I used to like. There was a label called Oni Press, ONI, Oni Press, and they used to do a lot of like one-offs. Graphic novels, and I used to love their stuff. Things like You Were Never Really Here. That was a great graphic novel they did. And there was, can you remember Whiteout? They did a movie of Whiteout with Kate Beckinsale. That was an Oni Press comic. The comic was fantastic. It was a really great comic.
Early Ghost Rider, like Johnny Blaze.
I'm totally with you as well. That's it was actually something that me and my dad bonded over. My dad liked bikes and cars.
Cool.
And my dad liked Ghost Rider. I thought he looked cool because of his bike. And it was like, when you're a kid and, my dad was like, what's this crap you're reading?
Yeah.
but then when he saw like Ghost Rider, he was like, oh, what's this? And I was like, oh, it's this guy from hell who rides a bike. And he was like, oh, that sounds cool, son.
I think
so my dad liked it.
I think for me, like, it was escapism.
Yep.
Like Spider-Man, X-Men, like stuff like that I loved. Fantastic Four, all the way. But then I remember reading the Batman.
Yes.
And just maybe a year or two after the first movie came out, the 89 Burton one.
Oh, yeah.
And the graphic style, was so different to Marvel.
Yes.
And it was more darker, and I thought, Jesus, this is good.
It is. It's beautiful, isn't it? I mean, that's what it's like with the 2000 ADs. The artwork's really great, and you can tell it's proper artists.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many comics get rushed off now.
Like I had, I don't even remember. Do you remember what they had in promotion for the Batman movie? They had trading cards.
I do, yes.
With some bubblegum.
The bubblegum cards.
I collected those trading cards, both sets, because I loved the movie. But as I said, never read a Batman comic until a year or two after. So
when was the Tim Burton one? 89?
89, yeah.
89. And so Batman Returns was 91 or 92? 92. I can't remember. I can't remember who the first Batman I saw was. The first Batman I saw was probably the old TV series, I think, with Adam West. I think that was probably the first one, because I remember the movie was on repeat on the TV, the one with the shark repellent spray.
Yeah.
that just seemed to be on TV all the time when I was a kid growing up.
Yeah. Cool, Minty. Well, my friend Damien, he's a huge Batman nut.
I remember the one when Bane broke Batman's back.
Yeah.
You can remember when he broke the old before
I've seen the cover. Yeah.
It was, man, that was class. I remember me and my friend Daniel getting those and just being like, whoa, man, he's just... And I think it was Dark Batman, right, that came after that? It was, I just remember Bane killing him and snapping him in half, and it was just like, whoa, Bane just...
I don't think
But it was a big deal. The comic was a really big deal.
Yeah, I remember... I was going to say about Damien, like he's a huge Batman nut, and he'd cosplay as Batman. That's how big he is, in the conventions around the north.
Yeah.
But he was going to do a Batman fan movie, and he was going to play himself as Batman / Bruce Wayne, and he was looking for other people to take part. And I said, yeah, I'll do it, for the laugh, and he cast me as Oracle.
Cool.
Right. And Never got around to filming it, unfortunately. But the idea was there, and then he had an idea for a Doctor Who movie, and he was going to cast me as the Rani, or regenerated Rani.
Yeah.
And but then again, never got around to filming it. So, and then now he's at the age now with his back himself. That's what reminded me, his own back is totally banjaxed. So he's not going to be doing it, but he still dresses up as Batman, and he does Jack Sparrow.
Oh, cool, man.
From the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. He does that as well.
I've dressed up as Jack Sparrow a couple of times for Halloween, I have to say.
I want to send you actually a picture of him.
I've done Jack Sparrow before.
Because he makes a great Jack Sparrow.
I remember doing, I did the Crow as well.
Cool.
I've been dressed up as a Crow before. I thought, but I never read the comics though. I knew the Brandon Lee movie before.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a comic book character.
Neither did I.
He was a comic book character. And I did read some of them afterwards, and they were good. But I thought the movie was better than the comics. I was a big fan of that movie, The Crow.
Lexi loves the film.
I love Bruce
We watched
Lee.
the remake last year, and Jesus, I was so disappointed.
I couldn't bring myself to watch it. It was one of those things. I'm such a big fan of the original, and I'm not usually like that. I actually do. I mean, The Assassin that I'm going to review for the channel, that's a remake of Luc Besson's movie. You know, it's but I really like it. I think it's a good remake. And so I'm not down on remakes at all. I'm a fan of lots of remakes, but with The Crow, I just couldn't bring myself to watch it. I think maybe if I'm surfing Prime or something one day and it's on there, I might watch it. But I really didn't want. I really didn't want to go out of my way.
No, I wouldn't recommend it, to be honest with you. It's the one movie last year that myself and Lexi watched. We both agreed it was terrible.
Well,
we both agreed the same consensus. Like normally, I like the different kind of movie than she would. Like she's watching Castaway now tonight while I'm doing this.
What did they do? Did they go a totally different direction? I mean, like different character, different feel.
No. It was just the origin story, and also the fact it was just so badly acted.
Right.
You know, it was. Apparently, it isn't all that decent. No.
Well, maybe the RoboCop one.
Oh no. That's a letdown.
I've watched it about 3 or 4 times, and I can find something. I actually like it now, Mindy. I can. But it's. I mean, I'm a huge RoboCop fan. The Paul Verhoeven RoboCop 1 and 2. I actually quite like 3 to an extent, and I was collecting by then, and I had a job, so even when the TV series and stuff came out, I was collecting the models and the figures and stuff. I'm a big RoboCop fan, but it was just. That kind of took the soul out of RoboCop, the new one. There's no soul to it. It's just like a generic action movie. There's some cool effects, though. There's like when you see RoboCop without his suit, that looks pretty cool. There's like only certain parts of his body left. I won't spoil it in case you watch. But that looks pretty cool. But as for the rest of it, it was really touch and go. Samuel L. Jackson plays the news anchor. That was pretty good because Samuel L's good in anything he does. But he just kind of bookmarks it, just like the TV anchors do in the original. It's worth a watch, but watch it like when you've got a couple hours to kill on a Sunday afternoon or something. It's not something to make any time for. It's just if it's there, watch it. It is. RoboCop's perfect, Minty, I think. It is. It's perfect satire. I really got into Paul Verhoeven after that. I actually watched I bought the Starship Troopers box set.
Yeah.
I think there's 4 of the movies in there. I've only watched the first 2. Second one wasn't very good. But man, Verhoeven's really good at satire. Starship Troopers was really had a lot to say as well. It's a really interesting movie.
Oh yeah, the first one especially, yes. It's the book is very fascist, right leaning.
Oh, aye.
Whereas Verhoeven took it the opposite way.
He did. It's insane how political that film is. And the first time I saw it, that went totally over my head.
Yeah.
It did. I just thought it was this cool action movie. I had the VHS years ago. I watched it a couple of times. And then watching it again, when everyone was saying, watch it again, John, there's actually a lot more in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, is there? I thought it was just this cool action movie with Michael Ironside and Clancy Brown. And
that's right, yeah.
And then Casper Van Dien and Denise Richards.
Yeah, that's right. I was trying to think of his name.
What happened to Casper Van Dien?
I've no idea.
He was everywhere for a couple of years.
You've tried to read the Starship Troopers novel.
Any good? I've never read the novel.
Neither have I.
But I know that there's well, like you see, apparently it goes the total opposite way. Cool, man. Hillman's Forever War series. It's what am I reading at the minute? I've just finished reading a book that about erotic thrillers, written by
Glenn Criddle.
Oh man, this is going to sound horrible. I can't remember her name. It's the critic, Mark Kermode's wife.
Yes.
Linda. She's a teacher. She teaches at, I think it's Bournemouth University. I read a couple of articles and they were really good, so I bought the book. Linda Ruth Williams. Yeah.
Okay, you got her. Okay.
Yeah, Linda Ruth Williams. And so far, I've really enjoyed it. I mean, it's academic kind of book. But man, I've really enjoyed reading about it because I grew up watching all those erotic thrillers, and Casper Van Dien was in a lot of the kind of Channel 5 late night type, softcore thrillers.
There's no source of information. Simon, thank you.
Last Scene in the Pack.
Last Scene in the Pack.
2012. My goodness, was that long ago? All right.
I'll
have to check that out. The Pack. Do you know if it's any good?
I don't. I've never even heard of it.
I think. I can't remember it. I seem to remember a poster for the Pact.
I need to give Robert Heinlein another try. I have a few of his novels, but I haven't spent any time with them. Yeah, Heinlein can be okay in certain stories. But like Philip K. Dick.
Oh man, well, Philip K. Dick, talking about military sci-fi. Yeah. He did some of the great ones. I am a big Philip K. Dick fan. It was the movies that got me into him. I didn't know his stuff until I saw the movies based on his books.
Yeah.
And then I started reading Philip K. Dick's books after I'd seen a couple of the movies, like Blade Runner. And in particular, there's a one called Screamers from 94, 95. Yeah. And I loved that. Was Peter Weller from RoboCop. Speaking of RoboCop, and I love that movie. It's a little bit of stop motion kind of robotics in it.
Cool.
Some pretty cool kind of sci-fi channel gore. And man, I really liked it, and I watched it. I rented it from the video store. It must have been, I don't know, at least 10 or 11, 12 times. I liked it that much.
That's good.
And then I ended up buying the X-Rental from the store back in the day because I was watching it that much, and they were like, you're the only guy renting this, John. You just want to buy the tape. I was like, okay.
I never had that.
But no, it's
you think we didn't have a video until 97 or 96?
Well, our video store was like it was the local shop. It wasn't like a dedicated video store.
Oh, right, okay.
But it was like a mom and pop up.
Yeah.
Inside the store, and it's so you could get your newspapers and top shelf stuff in there as well. But he also did the video rentals, and even when I was young, he was renting us stuff that he shouldn't have been renting us because he knew I loved the movies. And if I rented something a lot, he would usually sell it to us like discounted price. And this is back when tapes were pretty expensive.
Oh, that's good.
Would, if he knew I liked something, he would say, "You just want to buy the tape."
Yeah.
And that happened with Screamers.
Just saying what Simon says, the original novel of Blade Runner, The Android's Dream of Electric Sheep, was very different to the film. Very, very different.
I actually know what VALIS stands for. Vast Automated Living Intelligence System.
Nerd!
I loved it. I love VALIS. I thought it was a pretty cool book. But his writing is pretty difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, he was high as a kite most of the time.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of it's really
fast. And he was paranoid most of the time as well.
A lot of it's really fast prose, and he kind of writes the way that he talks. It's really fast.
Yeah.
A lot of his writing, so a lot of his stuff is pretty hard to get through, I think.
When I was in Birmingham there in January, I'll come back to Knock. I got The Man in the High Castle to read on the plane.
Oh, man, it's class, The Man in the High Castle.
I never got around to it because I got talking to the woman beside me.
Oh,
and her wee son was kind of like playing on their tablet.
That was one show. I didn't think the show was good, but the TV show. But about halfway through, the book finished. So they started kind of writing their own stuff for the TV show, and then I lost interest in the show. But
the Game of Thrones in.
Yeah, exactly. The series kind of finished the book halfway through, and then just started making their own stuff up. But no, I love him, Philip K. Dick.
Yeah.
Screamers, like Minty, yes, Screamers. It was that was a big. I mean, I started reading his stuff after that. It's I really like him. I didn't know there was 3 or 4 novels, though, Minty. I'll have to check the other Blade Runner novels out.
I think he's right. I think because Scott borrows a lot, or borrowed a lot, I should say, from dystopia, sci-fi. And
well, I mean, he totally mixed. Like, I can't remember the comic book artist. He did mention a graphic artist that he liked.
Yes,
right. who did concept stuff for him for Blade Runner. I can't remember now. It's been a while since I've watched the documentaries.
The final cut on the extra disc of that.
I think that's what I watched it on.
Yeah.
There was I know that he loved William Gibson as well.
Yeah.
The sci-fi, because you can really tell like that he read a little bit of Gibson and mixed that with Philip K. Dick, because Philip K. Dick's futures. I mean, I won't stay on it for too long because it's a bit of a niche thing to talk about Philip K. Dick, but it's his future worlds are they're based in a reality. Like, people have really mundane jobs. I mean, like his first short story is about a dog, and it's from the dog's point of view, and the dog notices that the bin men aren't who they seem they are.
Right.
And it's because the bin men were bothering Philip K. Dick, so he wrote this short story saying that they were like these humanoid robots who were just actually who were just killing people. And it's but the dog noticed.
Yeah.
It was called I can't remember what the book was called, but the bad guys, the bin men, were called Roogs. And the dog used to go roog when it barked.
Oh, okay.
at the people. It was, but I mean, his worlds are kind of based in a really, it's got a nice reality to it. I guess what I'm getting at.
Well, on a related note, there's an X-Files episode based on a William Gibson story.
No, yes, Minty's just said about Gibson. He has a little bit up his own ass. The writing is really like, I mean, so I've just been reading Burning Chrome. And it's short stories, and that's why it's on my brain. And I didn't understand a lot of it because he uses words that I don't understand. And I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm thick, but
no, you're far from that, mate.
But it does seem like Minty, it's a bit up its own arse. I mean, it's the short story of Johnny Mnemonic's in there.
Yeah,
I read that one. There's a short story called New Rose Hotel, which is a Christopher Walken movie I love.
Oh.
And that's why I bought it, because that short story was in there. And the movie's a lot better than the short story. But it is, I know what you mean, his writing's a little bit over my head, it seems like. And I think that I get that vibe as well, that he's a little bit up his own arse.
Fair enough. Whereas I'm like, I think that Arthur C. Clarke is the same. Weave it.
It is. Well, Minty's just seen he quite likes Burning Chrome. I've enjoyed the stories, but it's been like I said,
it's high concept though.
It is. A few times I've had to like read a sentence 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And thought, well, what does that mean? Am I reading that word right? I'll just check the thesaurus or the dictionary.
Well, the first Arthur C. Clarke novel I read was Rendezvous with Rama.
Arthur C. Clarke. That's
and
2001.
Maybe about 12.
Yep.
And I was like, wow. This is mad. And I never, I didn't know anything about like 2001 or, the Sentinel or anything like that. I had no idea.
The Sentinel's a good short story. I mean, that's pretty much the basis of 2001. Excuse me, sorry.
He's the deal hard sci-fi. Yeah, Clarke is, yeah.
Yeah, he's good. Like, it was, I was watching, who did a video about Arthur C. Clarke, saying that he had questionable taste in, I think it was Rob Eger, the guy that does all the Kubrick stuff, the conspiracy stuff, the Shining things about the.
Oh yeah, yes.
About the Jack and his son and all that, and he does some. I mean, they're his opinions, and he's entitled to it. And I enjoy watching his stuff. I don't agree with him, but I enjoy watching his stuff sometimes. He's a bit like Gibson-ish, just saying like that.
Oh yeah, big thing. Yeah.
Talking about William Gibson and Rob Eger, but I enjoy his stuff. And he did one about Arthur C. Clarke, and it was about. I think he was into younger people, if you know what I mean. I don't want to say anything on the stream to get it taken off. But that was an interesting video because I'd never heard that before.
Neither I.
But Rob Eger, I'm sure it was Rob Eger, did a video about Clarke. or just addressing the rumors anyway.
Yeah. Let's have a quick look and see on YouTube.
I know he is cool. He's a great writer. I really like I like his short stories better than his novels.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It is on his collective learning.
Yes, that's the guy. Aye, that's him.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was a while ago, but I remember watching.
The Dark Side of Arthur C. Clarke.
That's the one. Yep, I remember watching that. And it was stuff I didn't know, but I don't know if it's substantiated or not. But
I had no clue either, to be honest.
But it's interesting. I mean, I was just watching Michael Jackson. They put the 2-part thing, Finding Neverland or Leaving Neverland.
Yeah.
The documentary about him. I watched that last night. It's the first time I've seen it. That was, I'm not sure how that was going either.
To be honest, I don't think he was what they said he was.
Aye.
Because I think, like, for him, growing up, he didn't have a childhood. He didn't have a chance to play when he was with like other kids.
But we should get off this topic, shouldn't we? It's a bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, that was my fault. I brought that up with that because I'd seen that Rob Egan video about Clark. Sorry.
I never really like Asimov as a writer. The quality just isn't there.
There was a couple of good movies. I liked that Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams. That was Asimov and I, Robot, right? The Outer Limits. The Outer Limits did the Leonard Nimoy episode with
right.
Leonard Nimoy when he's defending the robot in court for murder.
Oh yes.
I remember that was Asimov. I think that was a good Isaac Asimov adaptation. I don't know if the later Will Smith movie was based on the same story. I don't know if it was. It's similar themes.
I think it was based on, but not, the same plot.
Yeah, it was. So it's the laws of robotics, right?
Yeah, the 3 laws of robotics. Yeah,
that was Isaac Asimov when the 3 laws of robotics. So you don't. And they were all designed so that
they can't hurt a human. They can't fly.
Yep, they can't hurt a human. That was it. Yep.
And
that's what.
Unless the human's in danger.
Yes.
Something like that. I can't remember.
It's been years since I've read Asimov myself.
But that's the thing, you see that, and Asimov's idea for that.
Yeah.
And you could argue that it's the same for RoboCop.
Yeah.
The three prime directives he has, and the 4th hidden by OCP.
Yeah, man, that's interesting. That
and it's like
maybe Asimov had more impact than I realized. There,
I'm just spitballing, to be honest with you.
No, it's interesting. It is. It's definitely the military drones might be breaking a few of those rules, but yes, I think so too, man. We've never really been told what they are yet, have we?
No.
Those drones. So I was. I've always been I'm not a conspiracy nut or anything, but I've always been interested in UFOs and my whole life. So whenever anything pops up like that, I always watch and check the news out. And I mean, I think a lot of these guys are in it for the cash.
Yeah.
But there's a few good ones. I really like Dr. Stephen Greer, and he talks about stuff like that. And he's got this way of communicating with aliens, like meditation. And I mean, I don't believe in any of it, but I find it all very interesting.
Whereas I am a conspiracy nut. I believe we're not alone. And
I mean, I don't think we're alone in the universe.
No, we're not. I don't think so.
Because I mean, if we're here, there's got to be another one because there's billions. There's billions.
I believe in the multiverse as well. So
exactly, there's billions of stars. So there's got to be another star that's. And it won't be us, but it'll be something,
It'll be a version.
Yep. I'm hoping it might be a pleasure gelf. Can you remember the pleasure gelf of Red Dwarf?
Yes, yeah.
But no, I've been watching them again lately as well. Kachansky. Well, the thing with the pleasure gelf, it can be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, well, that's true. Christine Kachansky.
I like
I can't do a big Charles impression. I'm sorry.
We are not alone. God is with us all.
Praise Jesus.
It was a great. I was watching The Simpsons there the other morning.
Okay.
And Homer was about to get. He's building a church, something happens with the church.
Oh yes, that one. Yeah.
And he says he's about to drown, and he says, "I'm not a praying man, but if you're up there, please, Superman, save me now." Just because we were talking about Superman before as well. It's great.
And there's another one as well when he's I'm sure you've noticed it's common knowledge, like, but God is only character in The Simpsons has got 5 fingers.
No, I've never noticed. No, I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that.
No, every other character's got 3 fingers and a thumb.
Oh, that's cool. I'll have to,
Right?
I didn't know.
God's the only character with 4 fingers and a thumb.
I remember the episode, the particular one when Homer stops going to church.
Yeah, the heretic one.
Yeah, the heretic, Homer the heretic guy. Because to this day, we still see that. Like in a blanket, I say I'm a toasty cinnamon bun. like when because that's what Homer says.
Very slippery.
When they're all at church, he wraps himself in the bed and goes, "I'm a toasty cinnamon bun."
Oh dear.
Homer the heretic.
Sure. It's only been a crack at the end of the day.
But I've always been interested in UFOs and stuff. I always was. I mean, yeah. I was always interested in I was always interested in science fiction. Always. Yeah. And I mean, what we've been talking about, 2000 AD, and even Gibson and Clarke and Asimov. I got into those because of the comics. It was like 2000 AD and stuff that I read that got us interested in those sci-fi writers. Because when I started to read about the people who were writing the comics, a lot of them were influenced by the sci-fi stories.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And especially dystopian worlds. And I got really into that. I think that's maybe why I love disaster movies so much.
Oh, all right, okay.
I always like dystopian stuff.
Yeah, same.
But
it's really good that this place isn't as bad as you say.
It's always interesting.
Yeah,
it is. But I mean, we pretty much live in 1984 now, right? That was who was 1984?
Orwell.
George Orwell, yeah, George Orwell. I mean, we're pretty much in 1984 now, right?
But,
he was right about that.
Asia and East Asia fighting, and so Oceania.
Oh, cool, Minnie. Have you got any stuff online that we can read anywhere? Minnie was just saying he writes sci-fi.
Minnie's a writer as well. I forgot that.
I know. I've tried writing short stories and stuff, but I'm better at writing scripts, I think. I'm better at putting it in dialogue, but I do like to write. I still write short stories, not to get released or anything, just why not pass the time, but I enjoy doing it. I enjoy writing little stories. But yeah, I'd love to read some.
Orwell nicked loads of ideas from the novel We.
Yes, I've heard that as well. I have indeed. I've heard that as well about Orwell. What was the other Orwell one? It was Animal Farm, right?
Yeah. Oh, there's a couple he did.
Yeah, the other. I think they're the only two I've read.
Oh yeah. Well, there's one.
Nothing online.
Yeah, it's more of a satire. It's
All right.
I think it's called "Keep the Aphrodisia Flying" or something like that.
I'll check them out. Keep the Aphrodisia Flying.
I think that's what it's called.
That's a cool title.
Yeah. I'll just double check.
I mean, one movie I did watch recently that was based on Philip K. Dick that I really enjoyed this time, but I didn't the first time. Did you ever see A Scanner Darkly?
Yes.
With Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves, yeah. And Woody Harrelson.
Because I like the director, Richard Linklater.
Yeah.
But I saw it in the cinema and I didn't like it. And I just bought the Blu-ray like 3 weeks back, and it's brilliant. I can't believe I got it wrong the first time around. It was a really excellent film. I just totally missed it the first time around. It must have
amazingly well done.
It just totally went over my head. It must have just went over my head when I first saw it because I really enjoyed it.
That's the kind of K. Dick space as well.
Yeah, it was. I read the novel. That's maybe why I didn't like it the first time around, because it was so hard to get used to seeing everyone like a cartoon.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, because I had such a vivid version of what I'd read in the book in my head. It was a bit like, oh man, you can't do this like a cartoon, you know? But then, of course, it just clicked this time. I watched it and I really enjoyed it.
Excuse me, for the burp.
It's well worth watching, Minty. It's kind of darkly. I'd really recommend it. I really enjoyed it. It went over my head the first time, but I think it was one of the HMV premium DVDs.
Oh, okay.
The ones that they do. I got like a steal. I got like that. The original Thing from Another World, the Howard Hawks one, and Mystery of the Wax Museum for like 15 quid in the sale. Yeah, it was like 3 for 15. And it was 3 for
15. Wow.
3 for 15. It was
That's
Amazon
sale. 3 for 15.
I'm saying 3 weeks ago was probably the after Christmas sale that I got it in. It seemed like 2 minutes ago, but it was a really good deal, and I really recommend it, Minty. It was excellent. It was
Simon says, have you seen Imposter 2001?
Yes, with Gary Sinise. That's a
Yeah.
really good Philip K. Dick one. Yeah, I'm
very accurate to the novel too.
It is. I'm a big Gary Sinise fan. I wish he'd done like more as a lead guy, because he went into TV and did. I think it was CSI New York.
Yeah, he did one of CSI. Yeah, that's right.
And he did that for such a long time. But I mean, he's in Stephen King's The Stand, which I really like. But the Imposter was great. Yeah, he was in Mice Men, that one. He did that really horrible scene in The Green Mile where he's the horrible racist character.
Yeah.
That was, but I mean, he's a horrible character, but man, what a part. He was so good in it. And I wish he'd done more lead parts. He was really good. I know it's not a popular opinion, but I really like Mission to Mars, the Brian De Palma film. And I thought he did that part with a lovely sense of wonder. I really liked him.
That's right, Simon. Yeah. D'Onofrio's in it as well.
Yeah, D'Onofrio was the cop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and is it Madeline Stowe was his wife?
Yes, Madeline Stowe. Yeah, that's it.
Madeline Stowe. Yeah, I remember really enjoying that because I mean, I don't want to say it in case anyone in the chat hasn't seen it, but it's like, is he? Is he not? Is he? Is he not? Is he? Is he not? It was so
again. That's Philip K. Dick to a T, isn't it? The paranoia.
Yep. Well, that's the thing. You don't know who you are.
Yeah.
A Total Recall. He doesn't know who he is. You know. Duandra's Dream of Electric Sheep. He doesn't know who he is. That's kind of a running theme, and he's, you know, because I don't think Philip K. Dick was altogether there. I think he was stoned out of his brains a lot of the time.
Well, he was, because he was, as you say, he was high most of the time when he was writing.
Yeah.
But he was paranoid because he felt that the government were watching him.
Yep.
And all that. So, you know, Minty goes on a King triad there.
Yeah,
was well written. Yeah, I agree. Which version? But the uncut version or the original 78 version, isn't it? Who was publication?
I've never read the original. I read the first one I read was unbridged. It was released as
That's
the unbridged version.
I read, yeah.
Right? That's the one I read, unbridged. But I agree with Minty there about King. I know, well, Kerry, you're a huge King fan as well.
I am, yeah.
But his writing has varied a lot lately.
Oh, God, yeah. Jesus.
I mean, I think ever since around Doom McKee time, I really enjoyed Doom McKee.
Yeah.
But ever since then, I've read a couple and I found it hard to get through them. I
haven't read most of his later novels, to be honest with you. Like, I haven't read from... Last one I properly read was 11/22/63.
Yes.
The one where the guy goes back in time and stops the JFK assassination.
I haven't actually read it. I saw the TV series. I didn't. Oh, yeah. I never read the novel, but I watched the series with James Franco. I think it was in the series.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I remember. I liked it. It was. I watched it when it aired, the original airtime. But I enjoyed that. Was it close to the novel?
I haven't really watched it, to be honest. Right. I've only read the book. But the last King adaptation I watched was The Stand. The one they did with Gary Sinise. Not Gary Sinise. Oh, Jesus.
James Marsden.
That's him, yeah. And
James Marsden playing Stu. And it was one of the stars. Yeah, he was
Flag.
Yeah, it's what Ranulph Flag. That was it was definitely
something.
It was something. It was something. It had lost a lot
of the original though, to be honest with you.
Oh, I much prefer the original. It's like, I mean, I've watched The Stand, the new version, twice.
Yeah.
I watched it when it first aired, and then I bought it because it was like $3.99 on Prime for the whole series.
Oh, right, okay.
So I bought the full series and watched the second time, and I really didn't like what do you call her?
Nadine?
No, not Nadine.
Oh
man, the character Heather Green played.
Oh.
And I could really see. I could really see why they'd cut her out of the original series. Because I think he meets her before and she ends up committing suicide because everything's just too depressing for her.
Yes.
And I can totally see why they'd cut that out of the original series.
Guardian / protector.
Yes, I
forget her name now. But I think it's Nadine in the new version.
Yes.
Takes him on.
All right. And that was Amber Heard, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Amber Heard, yeah.
And Whoopi Goldberg as Mother Abigail, and
yes, Whoopi Goldberg. I forgot. I watched it twice, and I totally see that. That's the thing, you know.
But to be honest, what you call him, Oh, J. Jonah. Jesus, I can't think of his name though. Played J. Jonah Jameson in the Spider-Man movies. Oh fuck! He was in Whiplash.
I know who you mean, the big muscly guy. It's like
No.
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons, yeah, him.
J.K. Simmons, yeah.
He was for his brief screen time was Starkey. He was really good.
Yeah, I mean, it had its moments, but I mean, I remember watching the original Stand, the TV version.
Yeah.
I'm a really big Mick Garris fan. I know a lot of people think his directing style is too wide, but I really like his directing style. He does so much with his blocking. He'll just set the camera up, he'll let the scene go, and I think that's why he's really good at adapting King, because King's so dialogue heavy.
Yes,
very much so. The Garris just sits back and lets the dialogue tell the story. He finds a wicked shot, steps back, and just lets it happen. I really like.
I think that's style. Why Garris and Darabont made really good adaptations. Like I won't forgive Garris for The Shining miniseries.
I really like it.
No.
I really like it. I think Nicholas Pike's music's brilliant in it.
It's more accurate to the book, yes.
It is more accurate to the book, yes.
But it's cheesy. But saying that, I love the Langoliers.
I love the Langoliers too.
You know, the TV series they did with Scary the Little Girl.
Yeah, from man. I just watched him in
Bronson Pizza.
Axel F.
Oh yes, yeah.
I just watched the new Axel Foley movie.
Oh, we watched some of that. We turned it off.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I thought the director, it was a first-time director at IMDb.
I didn't know that. Okay.
And I thought it really captured the spirit of an 80s of an 80s movie.
Right. Just giving you a bit of advertising there.
Thank you very much. But also, Realm of Horror was saying that is it the uniforms from the Imposter that borrowed the Starship Troopers uniforms? That's really interesting. I can't even remember who the production company was. Was it Universal who did it?
I think it was Universal for
because it was a big budget movie, or at least it seemed like a big budget movie. Imposter. Oh, I thought it was great, Mindy. I really enjoyed Axel F. I thought it was really in the spirit of the originals. I really thought they captured that vibe. It was so great that they've done a little bit of fan service too with the characters and Bronson Pinchot coming back, and you had that the scenes just with those three in the car again. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. I really thought it captured the spirit.
Yeah, I'm just looking there on just on Google. There is a similarity, yeah.
Yeah.
To the Starship Troopers uniforms. Yeah.
Oh, so it is. It's Imposter. So Imposter used the uniforms from Starship Troopers.
No way. Yeah.
All right, that's cool.
Imposter came out 2001, Starship Troopers 97.
That's a really cool bit of trivia.
The master of the trivia, Simon.
I know it is. That's a really interesting point.
Yeah.
It's just, I wonder, I mean, it's just on my brain, so I'm thinking about loads. The Assassin that I want to do for my next review was on the same bill as The Specialist at the same studio, the Antonio Banderas. So Antonio Banderas and Sylvester Stallone ended up doing Assassins.
Yeah.
Stallone also ended up doing The Specialist, which was supposed to be Steven Seagal, believe it or not.
Oh, Jesus.
Because I've just been reading about this time in the studio's history. And then they swapped the titles around in all three of the movies and gave the movies each other's titles. And I was reading about titles, and the original title for The Last Boy Scout was Die Hard.
All right.
And Joel Silver was working with Shane Black, who just done Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
They were getting along really well together. So he put him in Predator because Joel Silver was producing it.
Right, yeah.
Gave Shane Black a part in Predator. He asked Shane Black to do a tightener on the dialogue in Predator. And then they ended up working together again on The Last Boy Scout. But before that, he asked Shane Black if he could buy the title Die Hard off him and put it on Die Hard. Because I think the original title for Die Hard was like Love Never Dies or something. It was like a really corny title.
That's mad because they both starred Bruce Willis.
I know, it's crazy. It was, but Joel Silver and Shane Black just had this thing going for that couple of years. And they ended up doing The Nice Guys as well together. Did you see The Nice Guys with Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe?
Yes, yeah.
I really enjoyed that one too. I'm a big fan of Shane Black. I think he's a really good writer. He wrote some of my favorites.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
I love Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and The Long Kiss Goodnight as well.
Yeah.
He's a really good writer. Speaking of Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Robert Downey Jr. was in Scanner Darkly as well.
That's right, yeah. He was. I was going to say, he's not a bad director either.
Yeah, Steven, for all the stick, Minnie's just saying, Steven Seagal, for all the stick that Steven Seagal gets now, because of his persona and him not being a nice guy, I mean, I can't defend him because he does seem like not a very nice guy, but I grew up absolutely loving Steven Seagal's movies. I mean, Out for Justice, Nico, Marked for Death, Under Siege 1 and 2. I grew up really loving those movies.
Those last two are Lexi's guilty pleasures.
I love that. I really like his movies. And there was something about him in Nico and Out for Justice and Marked for Death. He had something going, but he just kind of lost his way.
Isn't Catherine Hegel or whatever her name is?
Yes.
In the second one, Under Siege. Yeah. She's the, I want to say, teen girl or something.
She was at that time. She must have been Catherine Heigl. She'll been.
Seven that came out.
I think. Oh man, it will have been.
I think it was.
The video days. I'm gonna check that out.
Predator was bloody awful. Shane Black must have thought he was making a Marvel film.
It was unusual when at the Predator. I've only watched it the once. I have to say.
Yeah.
And for me, it was by far his weakest film, I think, that I've seen.
I'm sure I'm not alone, but we've got a wee grandson, well, two grandsons who have autism.
Right.
And it kind of was taking a piss, I thought.
Oh, with a kid, his autism who puts the helmet on, right? Yeah.
Not that bit. You can understand the sensory problems.
Yes, I remember now. Yeah.
Making it a superpower.
All right.
That's the only thing I didn't like.
All right.
That's why I went, But I thought it was all right.
I do actually own it. I'll give it another watch. I've only watched it.
I own it too, but.
Right. I will give it another watch because it's Shane Black. At some point, I'll definitely watch it again. Yeah. But I know what you mean, man. Realm of Horror. I didn't like it at all. I have to say. But
Predators with Adrian Brody.
Yes.
And what's his name?
There was a couple of cool moments in that.
Yeah.
There was a bit. There was a bit that was just like Billy, where there was a samurai, Yakuza character.
Yeah.
And he stood in the field, took his shirt off, and got the samurai sword out. And I remember, and then Predator coming. I thought, wow, this is going to be a cool fight. I remember thinking that was pretty cool. And it reminded us of Billy in the first one on the bridge with his knife when he cuts his chest and he's standing there with a knife. And I mean, that was man, what is it? I mean, Predator, you can't really beat it. I mean, Predator 2 is excellent, but I don't think you can beat the first Predator. That's a perfect movie, I think.
Yeah, it's up there. It's definitely off the 80s, like.
I mean, last time I watched it, I've been watching it my whole life. But the last time I watched it, I still got goosebumps. When you hear ba 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 bum dun 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 Alan Silvestri's music.
Yes.
And you just see Arnie's silhouette with a cigar.
Yeah.
It gives us goosebumps because it's like I've loved that my whole life. It's like there's something really comforting and so cool about Predator for me.
There's a Arnie movie I really want to get sometime if I can find a good price for it. Raw Deal.
Oh, Raw Deal, man. That's John Irvin, right? It's a John Irvin movie.
I don't know who directed it.
I think it's John Irvin, the guy who did Hamburger Hill, I think.
But Belushi is in it as well. Jim Belushi.
Oh, that's Red Heat.
Red Heat, is it? Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, Red Heat's the Belushi one. That's a Walter Hill movie, right?
But Raw Deal, I would love to get that somewhere.
Oh, it's Raw Deal. It was. I bought the Blu-ray a couple of years ago, and there's an interview with Arnold Schwarzenegger on it, and he said he loved it because it was the first movie he made that he actually had a wardrobe. where it wasn't like Terminator, where it was jacket trying to look cool. He was like wearing Armani suits and things and shirts and.
All right.
because before then he'd been like Conan and stuff. You know?
That's right. And Commando when he's almost half naked.
Wait, Commando was like, I love that bit in Commando with he's when he's getting all the gear on.
Yeah.
They do a
And
great.
then does the face.
Oh, Commando. That's not. I was going to say it's perfect. It's not perfect. Predator's about 20 times better, but it's still a really good movie, Commando.
Minty says the personal favorite of his is the Running Man.
Perfect again.
I actually watched that on Wednesday night, or Wednesday evening, I should say.
You better leave enough room for my fist, because I'm going to ram it down your throat and pull out your goddamn spine. Man, it's so. I think when he stabbed the guy in the back.
I've no power.
That was brilliant.
Not the commercial.
Oh, it is. That's a perfect one, like it. That is a perfect one. I think Running Man's perfect.
Yeah, like I'm looking forward to the reimagining.
Yeah, well, it's going to be darker, isn't it? Like
I hope so.
Like the Stephen King
story. It's dark.
Don't know how I should say. Stick around. He's such an over the top bad guy that it's the guy from Mad Max too, isn't it? Is it the guy from Mad Max?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think so.
Right?
But
I can't remember his name. It's like I can't remember. There's so many good actors in that. Bill Duke's in that. I love Bill Duke as well. Bill Duke's really good in Commando when he fights him in the hotel room. That's such a cool fight.
Yeah, my friend's a little tired.
Yeah. Yeah, well, many saying about the novel. I remember the novel. I mean, this is spoilers, I guess. Is it okay to do spoilers?
Oh yeah.
So he literally, it's like flies a plane into the tower, right?
Yeah.
That's how because he's dying anyway.
Yes.
It's been a long time since I've read it, but
it's not only because of that, because he's got nothing to live for.
Because his wife, right? His
wife and child died.
That's right. His wife and his kid died. Yes.
And he went on the show to get treatment for the daughter.
Yep.
And then Damon tells him somewhere halfway through or something, or near the very end, that your wife and child are dead, and so that's his reasoning going into the chopper and going into the studio.
Chopper. Get to the chopper. Oh, that's great. I did read it. I read the novel too, but many years ago. I think it was in Skeleton. Was it in Skeleton Crew or different seasons? It was one of the short story ones, wasn't it? Or was it one of the Bachman books? It was one of the
Bachman books, yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the Bachman books, right?
With The Long Road, The Walk.
Yeah.
What was the fourth one? I can't remember.
So they killed his wife and his child, he was saying.
Oh, right. I thought they died. Like, well, I suppose they did die.
That's even darker. And there was, I remember. So it's a bit like that. So it's a bit like Game of Death, isn't it? He's got to fight the way up. He's fighting his way up the tower.
Yes.
If I remember rightly, it's a tower and he's fighting his way up. Because I seem to remember a lot of the short story taking place with him in ventilation shafts, and he's kind of sneaking around the building. Like I say, it was years ago when I read it. It was a bit like Die Hard-ish.
Well, I haven't read it in a while myself either, so
yeah.
But yeah, it is very dark, as Minnie says as well.
It is. I like the Bachman books. I remember I got I hadn't read them individually, but I was working up Scotland, and this was a long time ago. This is like 2000. So even the internet was rubbish and stuff, and I was out in the middle of nowhere, and so I was just reading loads.
That's when I got them as well, because my first King novel I got was Misery. And then I saw the Bachman books, and at that time it was known that King had written them.
Yeah, well, same here. I hadn't read them the first time around. It was a collection of the Bachman books that I bought. I think it was called the Bachman books, actually.
That's right, it was, yeah.
And it was a collection of all the stories together. You got Roadwork, Rage,
The Long Walk.
The Long Walk. Yep. Apparently they're doing a movie of The Long Walk as well, or a TV series. I was reading that somewhere.
Yeah, I heard that too. I think it's, well, I don't know if you subscribe to the Stephen King book channel.
I think I'm on Facebook with the Stephen King book channel. I think so.
Well, I know they sometimes they would do readings of the stories, or chapter by chapter, sometimes on their YouTube channel. So
Oh no, it's just a Stephen King fan club I'm on. I'll have a look on YouTube. Send us the link for the YouTube channel. I'll have a look.
Yeah, will do. Yeah.
But I mean, I've always been a King fan. I mean, the first one I actually read was his first one, Carrie. I had an older sister, and she'd read Carrie, and because she was in high school at the time, I think, and so she really related to Carrie, and she loved the movie version of Carrie as well, and that's how I got into Stephen King through my sister.
The one with Sissy Spacek?
Yeah, she loved the Sissy Spacek film, but she loved the book more. And when I got into movies, she said, "Watch Carrie. Carrie's really good." And I knew Brian De Palma from Scarface, so I was like, "Oh, it's the guy that did Scarface." So, and I really enjoyed Carrie. It's a brilliant, brilliant movie. And then my sister gave us the book to read. That's how I got into Stephen King. My sister gave us Carrie. Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's in the
chat. Excellent.
It's in your chat, our chat, and then it's in the main chat as well. So,
all right, cool.
But they do like kind of they did the prequel. No, sorry, not the prequel. The prologue to The Shining, which was kind of a history of the Overlook.
Yeah, well, I really like the Shining book.
And that was in
there's bits in the book that
Cavalier magazine, I think.
Yes, but there's a bit in the book that, I mean, we've all drank too much, you know. But there's a bit in the book where he thinks he's knocked a child over, and he goes back the next day, to where he thinks he didn't. He finds a kid's trike that's knocked over on the side of the road, or a bike. And man, it's so scary, that bit of the novel. And it's like, they haven't put it in any of the adaptations, the Kubrick one or the television series that Gareth did. And for me, that was the scariest bit of the book, was that bit when he goes back. Because he confronted. Exactly.
They confronted and
exactly
with the consequences or
exactly.
consequences.
Exactly. That's the moment in the book where he's like, I need to do something about this.
Yeah.
And it's the same when Danny in Dr. Sleep, when
that's right,
he goes home with a girl and he sees a little kid and the kid's touching the cocaine and stuff on the table, and he just leaves. And then later on he sees like the ghost of the dead baby. It's and it's like what links the two books together for me is that.
Yeah. That would have been trippy because of Ewan McGregor being in Trainspotting as well.
With a dead baby. Oh man, God, Trainspotting. That knocked me for six the first time I saw that film. It was so crazy.
Minty says, anyone a fan of James Herbert here? Well, Minty, me and you have talked before about being Herbert fans. So, what about yourself, John? Are you anything related to John?
Just the famous ones. I've read Rats and I read Haunting. I think they're the only two I've read. I think.
All right, The Haunting is as in Haunted, or
Haunted. Sorry, yes, Haunted.
Yeah, with David Ash.
Yes.
The first of the David Ash trilogy.
Yes. So, but I haven't read the other ones. I think they're the only two I've read.
Right.
And I only read Rats because there was a famous film adaptation, which
that's right. Yeah.
Which is kind of famously bad, so bad it's good.
I've seen it. Yeah, it is.
And
dodgy, but it's good.
So that's why I read Herbert, was because I saw a really bad adaptation. But I really enjoyed them, though, Minty. I read the two that I read. I mean, it was
one I would recommend.
Many years ago.
Two I recommend. Others, or the Others, I should say.
The Others.
Others, or those. I don't know what. I think it's Others is called. Set in Brighton.
I'll make sure I write them down. So The Others and Secret Writing.
No. It's set in Brighton.
Oh, right. It's set in Brighton.
Yeah, and then the Others, the Jonah.
Jonah.
Yeah, that's a really good one. It's
like Jonah and the Whale.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's
cool.
Very twisted near the very end.
Well, no, I liked them. I mean, it was a long time ago when I read them, but I did enjoy both the novels. I did. And
the Magic Cottage and the Creed, the Dark,
Creed. I'll make sure I write all these down because I don't know if do we get to keep the chat with Restream?
Yeah.
Well, all right. I'll be able to check the chat. All right.
Yeah. There's
the Dark, Creed, and Jonah.
Sepul. I can't even pronounce the word. Sepul. I'll write it down here.
Cool. Well, I've got a list now. I'll check them out. It was. I really did enjoy them when I read them. Like I say, it was years ago. The last guy I read that I really liked was recommended by Stephen King, and it was almost like teenage horror. He was called Richard Lehman.
Right.
and Stephen King had said he liked him. And I read 2 or 3 of his. It's just like real pulp horror. You can read one on the train, when you're going to work or whatever. They're really light reading, but I really enjoyed him. Richard Lehman. I've just read 3 of his. They're kind of slasher. They're kind of like slasher fiction.
Oh, it's okay.
All right, there you go.
I can't pronounce that.
At Sepulture, I think.
I have no clue.
It's going to sound even more dodgy with a Geordie accent. Sepulture. Magic Cottage was a bit odd.
Okay,
I'll have to check all these out.
Simon says the problem with James Herbert novels is that they were released in the 70s, 80s, but many of the places you've written about were from the 40s and 50s.
Yeah,
so
Haunted was. I think Haunted was set in the past, if I remember.
Yeah, it was the 40s. Yeah, that's right. And the Jonah starts off in the 40s or late 50s, one of the two, around that time. Others doesn't.
The others.
It's got a very unique starting point. But I won't spoil it.
So out of all of them, would you say you'd recommend the Jonah, I guess, because Minty also said Jonah's good as well, because I'll get them.
Yeah.
I'll get a couple and start and read them. Jonah and the others.
The Dark.
The Dark as well.
Definitely.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll start with the Jonah because both of you mentioned it.
Okay.
So I'll grab that and I'll give it a read.
It's just be prepared for a bit of a twist. A good bit of twist, I should say.
Oh, I love a good bit of twist.
Yeah. No spoilers though. No spoilers, Simon. But no, I think that's grand. The chats come up nicely. I can see you well. Everybody can see you well. I think. Can everybody see John? Okay, yeah, and me.
Well, like I say, it's fine. My end. It's really good. The Fog. Now somebody has recommended that to us before. The Fog.
It's not the same as Carpenter's though.
No, I know it's not, but somebody has. Somebody's actually mentioned the Fog to us before.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. That's what I'll do then. I'll get Jonah and I'll get the Fog, because the Fog, because of the John Carpenter connection, not because it's the same story, but
no, it's very different. Yeah.
Next door neighbor was a massive horror fan. He passed me the Dark. It's so great, isn't it, when people pass stuff about?
Hello, Adam.
Hey, Adam, you alright, dude?
Welcome to the party, but we're just finishing up here.
So what's the Fog about?
A fog?
All right.
Yeah. No. It's about a dog. He loses an egg, so they call him Fog.
So what?
No, I'm not going to spoil it.
So is that a connection?
I haven't read it in a long time myself, so I can't remember.
Is that a connection with the Philip K. Dick Roog?
Must be, yeah. Must be.
We've talked a lot more about horror fiction and comics tonight, haven't we, than movies?
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good, because it's not just for films and.
Oh, I will.
My channel's more like kind of the anything goes, really.
Oh,
I think we could talk politics to the. I haven't got the. Boom, boom, mint. Boom, boom, mint, boom, boom. Very good, very good.
But Adam, we've been talking about loads of stuff. We've talked about, we just talked about James Herbert. We've been through Isaac Asimov and William Gibson, and we've been talking about different sci-fi influences. All right. The Imposter. I'm so pleased that people are that everyone remembers The Imposter. I thought that was kind of an underrated movie that needs more people to see it.
But the thing is, you see, the people, myself and yourself and Adam and Simon and Minty, like we are the obscure side of cinema, the non-commercial side.
Right.
As Simon, he did I don't know if you've seen it, his review on Chud 2, Bud the Chud. Yeah,
well, I did. Well, it's was it Simon that recommended that to us when we did the stream? Because I'd never seen Chud when we did. I think you recommended it to.
I did.
Cynical Celluloid, yeah.
Yeah. To Glenn, yeah.
Yeah, to Glenn, yeah.
Yeah. It's okay, Adam. We'll stay a wee bit longer, so you can come back. You'll stay here for a wee bit, but it just won't be much longer though. because tonight's just a wee test stream, and if it works, it looks to be working fine. So
it's been great.
So I can see the chat, and I can bring John in. I can bring people in. So it's all good so far, thankfully. But yeah, there's oh Jesus, I can't think. I'm trying to think of an author that.
Well, speaking of Stephen King, I don't know if you can see it, but there behind us where I'm pointing, that's the TV guide cover for Storm of the Century.
Oh yeah.
I was collecting all the old TV guide covers of his TV adaptations. So I just got the TV guide cover of Storm of the Century, The Stand, The Shining, and Rose Red, the TV version. Sorry, Rose Red was just a TV version.
Yes, yeah, it wasn't a.
It wasn't a book, and Storm of the Century was just a screenplay as well, wasn't it? That wasn't an adaptation yet.
That's right. It was. Yeah, it was. There's one actually. I know you've seen it, and I don't know what it's like to show, but Bag of Bones.
Well, everybody else I know hates it apart from me. I really like. I think it's because I'm a Gareth fan though, and it's got. I'm a big Pierce Brosnan fan because of Bond, and I really like Bag of Bones, but I'm the only person I know who likes it. I mean,
I like the book, but I haven't seen the show.
So the scariest part of the book for me was early on when he sees his wife's head under the bed. Man, that's even reading it. I was in a cold sweat. I had to put it down, go and get a glass of water, and come back. It really scared me. The book of Bag of Bones.
Yeah,
and I thought they nailed that in the TV show, and it was like I got a shock. Even though I knew it was coming, I still got a shock.
Well, I'll tell you what recent adaptation really worked for me. Gerald's Game.
That was Flanagan, right? Was it?
Yeah, McFlanagan. Yeah,
McFlanagan. No, that
worked really well for me.
He's been in a few now, hasn't he? The guy who played the husband, Gerald.
Yeah, yeah.
He popped up in Doctor Sleep.
Yeah.
He was in another one of the Flanagan TV series. The
Demon Hospital, was it?
No. The Edgar Allan Poe series.
Sorry.
The Edgar Allan Poe one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Fall the House of Usher. So cool. Bruce Greenwood, he's called the actor. I was really gutted because I knew that he was going to die when I knew what character he was.
Yeah.
But I mean, I thought it would be impossible to adapt Gerald's Game. And I was with you. I thought it was a really good movie.
Yeah, really, really good.
It was especially when the guy from Nowhere comes in. And what was he called? Was it Nowhere Man? The guy with the glowing eyes.
Yeah, Jesus.
It's the guy who played Lurch in the Addams Family.
Oh,
and he was the giant in Twin Peaks, the TV
show. Yeah, Carl Strukian.
That's the guy. Yes, that's the guy.
Or something like that.
Strukian. And he's just such a cool presence.
Yeah.
And he was just standing there. It was so spooky.
Any Clive Barker novel fans? Yeah.
Yep, I love Clive Barker. In fact, I just bought the Blu-ray. I literally watched this last week. The director's cut of Nightbreed.
Okay.
It was an Arrow. It was an Arrow when it was out of print. It was an Arrow Blu-ray and it went out of print.
Oh.
And so I paid about, I don't know, I must have paid about 20 quid for it, I think. But it was, and Clive Barker directed it, and it was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, our friend Mr. DC.
Aye.
He was in it too as a doctor.
Aye, it was good. I really enjoyed it. It was a really good. I mean, the mask that he wore was so cool as well.
Yeah.
With the button eyes and the.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
that's what Gaiman got the inspiration for Coraline.
Oh, it was a good movie. I mean, it was. But yeah, I've read quite a bit. I read the Books of Blood. I read Hellbound Heart. I got into him because of the movies first, though. I have to say, I saw Hellraiser, and then I started reading his books after I'd seen Hellraiser. So I read the short story, and that's what got us into him.
Did you see the adaptation of Books of Blood?
I really like the one that John Harrison did.
Right.
But it's not really anything. It's not really like the book much. But it's a really good movie. And then they did a TV one that was just
Yes, that's what I'm on about.
was just whatever. It was like a Hulu original.
Yeah.
It was
And
that
one
was
on Netflix, I think, as well. I think.
that was just whatever. When the girl from Brookside was in it, she played Anna Friel. Yeah, it was okay. It was, but it wasn't the books at all. The books of Blood are really poetic and they're quite beautiful, and I don't think they captured that at all. I mean,
the thing is, like, well, for me, like, you know, they're very much
the Cabal. Yes, Minnie just said the Cabal. That's the novel. That's the one. That's the Nightbreed. Yeah.
They're very much a kind of a twisted love story.
Yeah, Clive Barker's writing's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's almost like, you know, Anne. Do you ever read Anne Rice? Same thing. I watched the movies first, and then I read the books afterwards. But her writing's like, I think Clive Barker's that like romance horror.
Yeah,
I mean, even Hellbound Heart's a love story.
Yeah, that's, I mean, twisted love story. Yeah,
it is. It's his writing's quite beautiful. I hope he's all right. He's been pretty ill, hasn't he? He got an infection.
Yeah,
really hit him in.
Not Parkinson's, cerebral palsy, is it? Or...
It was something really daft. Like he went for a dentist appointment and he got an infection and it spread into his whole body. It was something really simple, and it's really doing him in. I hope he's all right.
Yeah, same here.
I mean, it's just at Brookside. That was Anna Friel, right? That was the one. She was in the Books of Blood TV series. Yeah, that's what I remembered her from. I think was she Jimmy Corkill's daughter? Anna Friel.
Oh, jeez, I don't know.
It was the guy, not Jimmy Corkill, the guy that buried under the patio.
Jordache.
Jordache. Was she Jordash's kid?
Yeah, she played Beth Jordache, I think.
All right, so her and the mother killed him and buried him under the patio, didn't they? If I remember rightly. It's been a while.
Yeah, well, my mum used to love that show. She'd watch it during the week, then she watched Omnibus.
It was good. Brookside was good. Phil Redmond was a good TV writer. He wrote Cracker as well. The same guy, right? Was it Jimmy McGovern? No, sorry, it was.
Yeah, I think it was Jimmy McGovern. Yeah,
I think it was. I think it was. I can't remember. There was loads of them floating around at the time. There was like Phil Redmond, Jimmy McGovern. You still had Dennis Potter and all those great TV writers that were knocking around. There was so many good TV writers at the time.
Right, guys, we're gonna have to finish off for the night. Thank you for joining me.
Candyman it is. As well. Oh yes, thank you. I wish we could talk more. I've just mentioned Candyman there as well, but
maybe next time, because as I said, this is just a wee test.
Well, thanks for having us on, and thanks for talking to us, everybody. I've really enjoyed. Enjoyed talking to everyone.
I think Adam's left because he was a bit disappointed he was there too late.
Plus, he came in the middle of us talking about.
But Adam, if you rewatch this, thank you for joining us as well.
I know, thanks, Adam. Man, it was nice to see you for a while.
Take it easy, guys. Have a good one. Talk to you soon.
Thanks very much. Take care.